like the
going to be
gaps
doing
are a
maybe
bit
48,
smaller, but
49.
they're maybe still a little bit too big for the gaps. But we'll see. We'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah,
And people are
I'm glad
enjoying
we've
it.
managed to discuss that whole Discord thing now,
Yeah.
because after the endurance, I want to be able to discuss the 2v2.
That's it. That was
with
why I wanted
Nathan.
to clear that
so
little bit
I appreciate
up
you doing that.
and get you up to
See,
speed.
this is how you
just so
fucking
can...
handle shit, man. I like it. I love it. Right. Oh, 20 people.
And like,
God damn.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. That's cool.
Right, that's me going. Oh, would you quickly send me the one with the track name on as well, quickly, if you could, on Discord?
The image.
Yeah. Because I used
yeah.
I'm using them ones as the screens.
What
for the...
party are we joining? The one that we
no,
were
I was
using
just
last
gonna.
week?
I was just gonna stick in this one. I'd opened it for the commentary. That was my message on Discord.
Oh, no,
I have
no,
just
that's
opened this one
I
for
thought you wanted
commentary,
to just
but
have a
you're
private
always
discussion before jumping into
you're
another.
always
No, that's
welcome
fine.
to join the commentary. So I was like, yeah, I can use the private chat with official.
That's cool. I just probably won't talk much, but hell,
no, that was it. You can just focus in on the racing, and I can commentate. I'm not bothering them, and you're not having to listen to two lots of talking and conversations going on with stream and commentary.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Right, just trying to find this.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined for Massive Endurance this week by one of the racers. This is official. How you doing, fella?
Hi, I'm good.
We were just discussing the times a little bit. Tom did get himself a 49, was it you said, or a low 50?
My best was a 49.3 in the end.
Yeah.
I was just shy of a 48.
And we were just discussing the time differences that I'd worked out. Pinky was a little bit worried he's not quite going to be able to make up the time gap again, so we'll see how it goes. Do you think you can commentate on Sunday evening? A Sunday, yes. I haven't got anything booked in at the moment, Senna, but all I can say, because the 2v2 and stuff is going on, is I do have to prioritise that compared to public, just because it's competition. But as long I don't think anything will get booked in, because it's Friday night already. They don't usually give me such short notice, so we should be good. So if you want to softly book me in, send me the time in my PlayStation messages. Yeah, I've just copied it and I'm starting to save it and thingy it to my thingy. Because this one, as I did say to Bish, I would, and I do appreciate the fact that I'm shit at making screenshots and stuff. I don't even know how to make a thumbnail really for YouTube. I've never even tried yet. I looked at a couple of editors. Like I looked at it for your video again as well, and I did like 3 hours of editing. My stomach went. I accidentally didn't save, and I forgot everything I had learned. I hadn't learned a lot, but it just like I lost all motivation again, and that's the sort of way it's been with the way my stomach is. Like it just, I struggle at the moment to learn new things.
I don't have stomach issues, but the motivation just comes and goes nowadays. Really.
That's it. That was it. That was why I could. I know. This is what I know. It's when I say I know, I really do know. Official. I'm not chatting shit.
Yeah, when you get motivation, you just want to get going, but then when you lose it, it's like, I'm not going to touch this again.
Another mile I won't be able to make. Rug, mate, what? You need to stop going to fucking football and shit on a Friday night after signing up for Mo. But no, there's a couple of people not making it this week either. Rezkio's not made it again, so you'll still have a good chance. Zorro was first. Bot from Rug, he wasn't happy he missed first, but I'm surprised we didn't see another first. And thank you very much, Razor. Now, just do your best, lad. It's all you can do. All we can do is enjoy the races you're involved in and do as well as you can. Callum Emery, I don't know what you're saying sucks, but your first message doesn't show up. And if you're just telling me I suck, then you can... I'm just going to time you out for now, just in case you didn't really mean that. But, you know... You can't be offensive towards the streamer either, just in case. Bro, I have school. Shit, man. I think I'll make the next one. Nice. And yeah, your first 2v2. Yeah, it's Alex messaged me as well. It's Alex and Dark versus yourself and Tony, if I'm correct. But yeah, as long as send me the time on PlayStation in our message, Senna or Zazoro. Let me know what you want to be preferred called as well, because I'm stuck on Senna. It's the way I am. I go with the first name I learn. I don't give a shit about you changing your names. If I like the first name, you're stuck with it. But yeah, send me a message with your time for Sunday, and as long as it stays free, if I do get booked in as well, I can give you a shout and see if we can wiggle it around and do it earlier or later, so I can do the competition 2v2 rather than the friendly 2v2. Do you know what? We can work it out then. Just send me the time and we can make it good. So we are just waiting for the lobby to open. It should be opening at any time now. Rug, start looking around in the division chat you're in, lad. Ask around. There's plenty of people in and around there. Even if you don't stick with them forever. Tell Viper he swapped times. What? Hold on. He's not in the party with me, Viking. Send him a message in VTech. He's streaming himself. Oh, you made me check the website, you bastard. He's still in the same lobby. Oh, gave me a heart attack, kid.
I've linked your commentary in the...
oh, thank you very much. That reminds me, I need to do my job of sharing it onto the Discord. I need to remember to promote myself occasionally so I can promote you guys better. That's like we are getting there. Is Mindusa, somebody on the server, is doing a uni course on coding, and so he's going to potentially try and work it into their degree for next semester to build us a custom YouTube bot that grabs everybody's videos, not one you have to pay for, or only grabs the thingy. This isn't Adulter, is it? That was the last track. Yeah. Yep. Remove. Called this one Bish JPEG. Lovely. This is Glorious Ways by Banksy or Banky. Something like that, Storm Banky. 25 laps, 2 pit stops across 25 laps. We have seen times ranging. The lowest I saw was the 46 from Glocks, I think. 46 point something. I'm not going to be able to go check the messages now, and it's hard for me to remember all these times I'm seeing come in all the time. I do my best, but it was at like a 46 mid to high, all the way up to like a 58 or 59 to the C3 drivers, is it? I'm sure they will have lowered their time, because that was an early time I saw from Cuban. 59, and he did think he could shave a bit off with a bit more practice. The likes of Metal, I think he got himself down to a 52. Bisher and the likes were around the 50 mark. Maybe they got themselves down to a high 49. Then we've got C1 in the lower to mid 49s. C Pros seem to be on quite a flexible time range, anywhere from 47s back up to that 49s, and then Glocks and Reds, but Red's not here in the C1 Pro handicap. Glocks with that 46 high, I believe it was, but I don't know if Glocks is here. There is Glocks, that's alright. Just making sure I have got the people in the race. Not just naming random people. Like I nearly named Rezkio and then remembered he's not even here. Yeah, get yourself focused in. Hello, Darklad. Apologies, I did mean to. I forgot to reply to your message. I thought I did. At the moment, I am busy on Saturdays. I have Hot Ring at the moment, but once that's finished, I'm hoping. I did miss my conversation again with Thingy yesterday. I've been bits of drama, needed tidying up. Messaging Owen again quickly now, just before the start of the event, and I'll quickly message you as well. Sunday any good for a chat, Owen? Good for you? Try again. There we go, there's that one done. So the F1 community hasn't been forgotten, DC. I am just a busy man at the moment, and I'm trying to I need to manage my schedule better eventually, so I can do a little bit more commentary, but I'm not very good at short notice. Next 3 Saturdays booked in. Apologies for I had responded before. There we go, there's that done. But thank you for popping by the stream, fella. Oh, Tyree's being asked what lap he's had. He only has a 48 at the moment. I want a 47. Yeah, that was what I was thinking, Ty. I know Pinky got himself down to a 47 something. 48.5. Yep, 25 laps. It should take about 40 minutes or so. 40 to 50 minutes. Hello, Vapors. Let me get through my chat again very quickly. I can see I've missed saying hello to my Pokemon. Can't do that. It was hilarious, Viking lad. You had me going checking the website quick to make sure I wasn't giving false information, telling you to get over there and thingy. Right, Viking, you're getting moderator because you've been around the channel for a bit and commentated on it a couple of times at the moment. DCRK lad, get yourself commentated on for another couple of weeks of this. You'll be modded before the F1 event. Vapors, I think you just need one more commentary, unless I've already... No, you were in the thing. I definitely commentated on you twice, at least, in the summer. You've missed out on a previous mod. But thank you all very much for popping by the channel. And Kakuna, I love you too! That's my Pokemon, just for everybody wondering. I can't pronounce his name properly, so he is just Kakuna from Pokemon. He entered with I love you, Foxy. Of course he does. He's my Pokemon. I raised him well.
Kakunoizao.
Yeah. That's a lot closer than I can get. And you've not heard him say it in a party.
Oh god. Yeah, I've definitely obliterated that then.
No, you did well. That's what I'm saying. I stopped pronouncing it because I still can't say it well after hearing it, but you didn't do too bad then. Yeah, he's in C1 with yourself, Tyrese. Rugs at school, unfortunately, Ty.
Oh, fucking hell.
He'll get there, DC. He'll get there. You can't be that quick in the F1 and then not get yourself pretty decent and shit on the streets. Good luck, racers. But no, with the time you've got this week, Dark, you're in the right... I'd call you Dark. DCR is what I'm just going to stick with Dark. It flows better off my tongue. We'll correct it if I'm wrong for the F1 stuff. Don't worry, I will pronounce it right for that and promote your channel and everything. Don't worry.
I think we're waiting for
but for your time this week, I think you're in the right division because they're down to 46. Or Glocks is. That's it, yeah. Me either. Hello, Novax, no worries, fella. How are you all doing? Hope you're all looking forward to the event. If I didn't really think this through, because I would have opened a chat with Raza and Tyrese as well, quickly, just so they know they can join. I think it opens it up in a new chat, doesn't it, when you add people to a private chat? Because I did just open it in mine and Tom's PM. I'm sure it does. When you add people to a private message, it just changes it to a new message, doesn't it? Yeah. Right, I'm very quickly going to add Tyrese Raza and Mayuto just because they're in the race and we know them boys. Yeah, it's what I'm doing. They might not join, they're probably doing their own thing and stuff, but I always like to make sure the people I do know they can get in, and once I know other people you'll get the same thing. It's just because I've not chatted to you a bit more before the stream, basically. For the streaming stuff I am a very open boy. Oh man, don't want to be getting the wrong impression across. Had enough of that this week. It's Taris. Where's your name, boy? Down to M quickly. Oh, he's fucking... won't say his name on stream, but yeah, his real friends requested me to knobhead. Where's Raza? Still in the pre-lobby, aren't we? Yeah. Right, just going back up to G. Oh, that was a good scroll. That was perfect. No, I was going to call that out at the beginning as well. Once there we go. Last person added. Right, like I said, you are welcome to join the party. But I fully understand if you're already doing your own things. And I think that is everybody I know well enough to have on stream party for now. But I'm going to get chatting to some more of you over the next week or so, couple of weeks, and we can open it up a bit more for next week and the week after maybe. Right then, let me run through the timesheet a little bit, shall I, and make this look a little bit and sound a little bit professional. So, C1 Pro Cap is starting at 4 minutes 40. C1 Pro 4 minutes 15. C1 Pro Handicap is Glocks this week. C1 Pro we have Razor Chrono Rizza. I need it to get back to the names. Why is it just on the cars? I can change. Do it there. We don't appear to have a Rizza this week. I can't scroll down though. Probably in there somewhere. And Joyce, Pinky isn't here, I don't think. Tyrese, and we've had DCRK is down in C1. He'll be starting in 3 minutes 50 with Novak's official. I think Jamie's in here. I think I saw Hashassin as well. Cool Car Carter was here last week. I didn't see his name in the lobby this week though. And C2 starting at 2 minutes 35 with Dirty Kiwi, Bishop Floppy, The Money. We've got Big Boys, Bizarre War. I believe I did see his name in the lobby. The Money's there. Just having to double check the list as I go as well. So we get it right. And Joyce just taking us for a little drive. We will be going on to Cuban or Metalhead with them starting on 30. So we get to start with the action as it goes. They'll be starting on 30 seconds. That is C3, and that is the real Cuban B and Metalhead. Watch their little bit of the race first. Give it the first lap or so and step back in as we've seen a lap after the boys have taken off in C2, and then about the same again for C1. We'll just slowly step back through the action and then have a look where the battles lie. I did run this track a couple of times myself. I did manage to get myself down to a 51, but that was like a good lap for me, and I would not be able to do it consistently, so I would not really have been in the running. Nice and safe through the first corners, just building up his confidence. A little bit safe. Cuban came the pace through the chicane a little bit better on the exit. Very nice stuff. zooming out a touch, we'll go back to the real Cuban just because there's that bit of gap, then can see them both applying the pressure evenly, and we'll settle in to a little bit of a watch along style while it warms up. I can answer some stream questions if you've got any questions about anything else. Hey, Silver Josh, I'll grow up when I put a good race in against Novaks, or a good race again Novaks. I haven't practiced much, so I feel like I'm about to get shit on. Nah, man, you guys, you've got a little bit too much experience to get fully shit on, unless you shit on yourselves. Changed my name, Rug. Yeah, that's looking clean, lad. That's looking clean. I'm gonna cry if it rains. That's Joshy Poo. No, I've been looking forward to this again this week. Did enjoy it last week. We did see a very exciting end. Had been a little bit spaced out. It did look like it was going to be really difficult for Metalhead to be caught up in the final corner before the hairpin. Metalhead just ran a little bit heavy into the wall, bricked off it a little bit as Official took the pace round. I think he'd have overtook if it was clean by Metalhead as well anyway. The pace carry was that little bit greater from Official, but he did, with the brick, just gain that little bit of extra breathing space and definitely have the pace to carry on through. Metalhead didn't completely give up. He did try a bit of mid-drive boost and all that malarkey at the hairpin, but did just cut it a little bit fine and just clipped the inside prop touch. It made it a very exciting end. I think Metalhead ending up in second place. Cuban has slid out as the guys unlap themselves from behind. There is the money, completing out the C2 boys. So Metalhead first lap 2:32.684. The slide into the corner, just struggling with the corner. We are going to allow Cuban a little bit of breathing space. I know the spectator mode can change the physics of the car, and certain drivers will feel it more than others and struggle to adjust a little bit more. So I don't want to be... I think I get stuck in my head a little bit sometimes, because I do believe it's towards the higher end you're going to feel that effect a little bit more. You're pushing the car fully to its limits, although the guys at their level are pushing for now to their limits. They're looking at breaking through and progressing forward into the C2, C1, C1 Pro brackets as time progresses, hopefully. Cuban needs off-roads, Benny wheels, slide a lot. Yep, the Wagner is still a car that has the tyres can clip attribute turned on at the moment, I believe, so it is a car that has a slight benefit from the off-roads. I do also think the Muscle Azrael wheels would be decent on it because they've got nice grip, and there would be a couple of other tyre sets that probably go out really quite nicely on the streets, but again, with the tyres can clip, that extra little benefit would be gained, as Rug rightly points out, from the off-roads. Here comes an unlap from Bazaar War, so he's just the one lap back now. And Drew, is this coming by as well? Yep. Quick swig of coffee. Metalhead does slide a little on the wood. 156.777. So struggling to find his rhythm. I definitely saw him post a better lap time than that, but he is starting to get into the flow. Picking the pace up, you could hear the throttle control doing a lot better through that corner this time. Just keeping it nice and flat, and again, just a little bit too much. He could have maybe got down on the power just a millisecond or two earlier and he wouldn't have caught the inside wall there. Just a touch unlucky with his timing, but he's going to have the lead, and it is going to be by a good 20 seconds to Cuban. A couple of slides and little errors from both, as they are just trying to find their pace see that slight level difference between the brackets. Everybody is now off the line. So we are going to go spend a little time. We will go, let's go with Dirty Kiwi. I think he's just going to be just behind. We've got Bishop just up ahead. There is Kiwi, as I thought, just behind where we were. That gives us a little bit of perspective about how the guys are doing. We've got Bizarre, War, Drew and Bisha having made it by Metalhead and Cuban for the first lap already, or first unlapping. Metalhead still keeping Kiwi behind at the moment. Just struggling on the tighter street section a little bit as he settles into having a bit of commentary on him. I know from speaking to Big Boys, the Australian lads are keeping their eye on the stream as well a little bit, and they do get just a little bit more excitable once the commentary eyes are on them. It's very understandable. I know from the time in the stunt community it did take the guys and girls a little while to fully adjust to it, and some of them do still get that little bit nervous from time to time, certainly if they've not done it as much as some of the guys from around. And there is Kiwi in for an early pit stop, getting rid of one of them good and early. With the time difference back, he may have gone with both early because there is no restrictions on it. It's just take a quick screenshot. But we didn't see Metalhead taking either of his in the laps we followed him round. But Kiwi with a bit of a gap in front. We are going to maybe just head back a little bit. We'll head back. We're going to keep with the C2 boys for now. We'll go back to Big Boys, and we're just going to creep our way back through the order a little bit and see how the field is spread out. Again, he's got a good bit of gap to D-Money behind him. Built a nice lead over him. Got a good second lap quick. You can see him chasing the brake boost. We didn't see that from Metalhead and Cuban. Not quite finding the brake boost spots just yet. Still just trying to find their speed through the corners and stuff. That little bit more experience, a little bit more care of finding the bumps does allow that little bit of extra speed to be carried down the straights at the very least, and allows to keep a little bit of extra wiggle room if you don't quite manage the perfect apex. Nice at corner from Big Boys this time, carrying the speed through the section really nicely, missing the bollards as he goes through city section. Again, just wisely, maybe not chasing all the brake boost, not wanting to get himself above a speed he's comfortable with in that section. It's where I do betray myself somewhat, is I'm maybe a little bit too overconfident in chasing the brake boost and getting myself up to the speed, but then I do not have the ability to handle the high level speed that I can sometimes achieve. It's not a good situation to get yourself into, and it does not build confidence for carrying the speed in the future. So it's sometimes best just to learn how to carry your speed first a little bit, settle into it, and then add in a couple of brake boosts here and there. Settle in again, brake boost, settle in. We are going to go back to official. Just skip past D-Money because official could somewhat be coming up to unlap himself on somebody. Would be sort of getting towards
I'm 39 seconds
time.
behind 8th, but I have managed to get a 10-second gap on DC.
The people behind you at the moment. You're 0.2 a lap quicker than DC, so you are extending away, and you are the second quickest man on track.
I always find myself in these situations.
You can see.
I'm always on my own.
Glocks is the fastest man or woman on track with a 48.533 in the early laps. I believe we'll be up to like lap 5 for the guys in C3.
I'm going to remute myself.
Yeah. But official is the second fastest man on track, or third fastest man on track as things stand, so he will be building an advantage over the guys behind him and catching up on the guys ahead. Vapors will be closing up slightly, but it's 0.1 at the moment. But again, that division spread nice and Light Glocks with the 48.533, settling very quickly to their confidence on the track again. Official with a big lead. We are going to leave him to settle into it for just a little while. We'll try and have a... before we do switch, we are just going to have a little pop back. Look at a name here. It's Danny Loco chasing, or being chased by Jamie. So we're going to go to Jamie. And this is how I might handle the transitions a little bit. We'll have a quick little look at the map, see where there's a little bit of action, and then we can pop there rather than me randomly choosing a racer. That could be a better solution than saving as many black screens, because that'd have been a bit stupid. Oh, big heavy braking point by Danny Loco, not being quite as sure on the track, stepping in very late notice to the event. Just stepped in about an hour ago, asked if he could race tonight, and is here. Jamie is, with that little bit more track knowledge, certainly on that part of the track, really carrying the pace through nicely. So that means we will pop back to Danny just so we can still see these two racers we'd swapped to. But we may see Jamie just begin to pull away a little bit with the track experience with the week's practice. 48.533 is still the best lap from Glocks at Ty, and Glocks picking up position at the moment from Razza. Razza may just allow himself to now settle in. He's got somebody, nice lines, with really nice lines, good brake boost to follow, and he is skilled enough to potentially pull off a good follow, if not fully in the mood or quite. I know Razza isn't one for major hot lapping and practicing. He's a racer. He likes the race, not the practice. So it's the sort of thing that could see him up his game a touch. It was a little bit of the combination with the car and then the rain kicking in last week that just saw him, with the time differences that there were, not seeing a way into the race. See, Jamie is just easing away. There's not too much time between their laps, there can't be, but it is just extending away. The gaps are just slightly growing. You can see that a bit more consistency, certainly through this section. Trusting his pace, knowing where he can push it to full speed, and I can hide the hood on this because it's street racing. I always forget that because on stunts you can't, and that's where I do my commentary mainly. Both going up the path on the street. Now I think there's a couple of people a little bit further back, and they'll be in that next division. There's like 3, 4, 5 people in a bit of a queue. Have a little look at the name in third of this, and we're going to go back to N Joyce or Razor, and we'll allow Danny Loco to settle in. We'll go with Razor. I know the lad has a little eye on the stream. We'll be able to see N Joyce up the road, my boy that we have raced against in the Pros v Track Racers events. Razor having joined the Pros team for some events that aren't against UCR8. So the team nicely expanding, sharing a couple of drivers, making some friendly relationships along the way between the teams. We've got Vapors pushing nice and hard, making good use of being one of the fastest men on track. 48.262 from N Joyce is the fastest lap so far. Nice smooth braking point, just a little bit tighter from Vapors, but a little bit of extra boost on that hillside from Razor. Couple of, well, the extra little clip of curb just seems to give Vapors the extra little bit of drive up the hill. Neither there going for the brake boost. They both appeared to have it lined up for that brake boost when they went through the chicane, but that was one I found. But boys not seeming to go for that one themselves. And that one across the road as well. It's another. Oh, Vapors does catch the inside prop through the chicane, and he may feel a little bit hard done by just trying to carry a little bit more pierce and cutting it a little fine so he could carry that pace nice and wide. He's just sticking to the road, feeling nice and comfortable, able to carry his pace through cleanly. Spread of the field at this point has just grown a little touch again. Razor, nice clean lap with him, 147.690, does move Glocks up to 17th place. I think it is maybe worth spending a lap with Glocks while they're in the flow. And he is coming up behind Razor as well, potentially, I believe, with the positioning on the grid. But I think I could be wrong with that. It looks good though, Glocks smooth against the barrier. Feathers at the throttle just ever so lightly, chasing the brake boost. Didn't hear the squeal or see the tyre marks, maybe just missed it, but that was not a brake boost I'd found in my like 5 to 10 runs. Aggressive on the curb, getting 3 clips of it as they pull up the hill. Now, will we see Glock chasing the first brake boost, lines the car and does go with the second, does go with the 2 brake boosts I found myself. That does reassure me that I was finding legit useful brake boosts. I'm proud of myself. One day, mummy, I'm gonna be a real fast boy. Glocks again just showing that slight difference between pace carried through a corner. I faced it a couple of times when doing rally against Rezkio. Being able to carry like 10, 20, 30 miles an hour extra through a corner is massive on a game like this. It just pulls you away, and you can see just gaining a slight bit of an advantage over Ty. Oh, it's no Vax behind. Hide that hood again. Nice and clean. It looks like the Raiders, I believe, on Glocks' car. So maybe preferring a little bit more front wheel and anti-roll, I believe that is, rather than the back wheel grip of the mil-spec Steelies. Jesus Christ, properly stumbling over my words as Razor has come further into view. There's that brake boost spot, so it's just as you go onto the wood. Okay, learning from Glocks as we go. This is why I've always liked riding along with the racers. It certainly may be a cheaty way, if I can get commentating more on the streets, to learn a load of brake boost spots for free. Getting Glocks chasing and collecting the brake boost, getting a bit more of a one wheel, nearly seemed to pull the car around in a bit of slide, but corrected that with a little dab on the throttle, just letting off ever so slightly to handle the car and closing in on Razor through the tighter section. He's holding his pace nicely and picking it up, maybe caught a little brake boost somewhere, but Glocks just managing the throttle that little bit better on the entry points. Little bit finer control at the moment as Razor's still learning it. Pulls around the corner, did lose a little bit of speed with the slide, but back up to pace on the path. Comes back around as Razor does get himself into the pits, not wanting to get into his own head maybe, or wanting to get into a race with somebody quicker, or getting into his head because he's losing time to somebody quicker. Just going to get himself back focused in on his own race, and that is very much the wise choice. Not necessarily competing against Glocks, you're competing against people in your division, so looking to place as highly as you can in your division, as well as high up the grid as you can. Glocks on a good run is up to 15th place. We are going to move back forward a little bit. We'll let the guys at the back have a little bit of breathing space for just now. Have a look on the map again and we'll see how it pans out. So there's a little pack here. We've got Raza, Novax, Bazaar, War, Drew, so I think they'll be a bit quicker than the pack behind. Will they be gaining on Chrono and Tyrese? That's the question. That could be the pack to go on to with Tyrese just there. apologies for the slight long deliberation with myself on who to swap over to. Get the right buttons pressed. We are going to go Tyrese. That was the decision I came to. But I do think this is a slightly better method to actually catch a few races in the action rather than, like I say, me randomly swapping through. There is Chrono just up ahead. Again, he is a newer entry into the competition this week, or he was added last week, but he wasn't here last week. And he's now fully in. Nice, aggressive over curves it goes. Good dabber brakes. Feeding the power back on through the section. Easy enough again, trying to keep traction. No slide at the crest of the hill. Really nicely done there by Ty. Pulling through the trees. Getting off the throttle. Touch more than he'd maybe liked. And you can see the back end bump heavily there. And there are a couple of tyre marks, but it's not thick with them. So maybe not too many people quite able to brake boost that spot. I couldn't get it myself in the little bit of practice I did do, just so I had a bit of track knowledge and stuff like that. I hadn't run the track before, so I never like to commentate on a track I haven't seen before. That's a bit dodgy. You can see oh no, it's Razor just coming into view. Chrono's gone past, and Ty will potentially catch him being in the division ahead. But Razor will be maybe using it as an opportunity. Nice brake boost from Ty, catching the brake boost we saw Box miss. Saw where they went for it, just didn't quite catch it. The couple of passes we saw, lovely braking point from Ty, takes the hairpin nice and tight and on the curbs nice and aggressive without taking any risk with the hillside. Will have lost a touch of boost to the hillside, but again I think in these long races you have to choose your moments to play it that little bit riskier when to play it safer. Maybe when you're being spectated is the moment to play it that little bit safer. Little early slide into the tight chicaney section. Is through nicely. Metalhead and Cuban are still first and second, but 5 seconds is the time difference on the lap for Bizarre War. There is the real Cuban, so Bizarre is going to be somewhere behind, but he is going to be closing up on Cuban, like I say, on Cuban by 8 seconds a lap. So he did improve from the 59, and he's getting better than he got in his practice PB. The slide round the corner does shred a lot of speed, but the brake boost picking it back up nicely and right back inside Razor, not letting him get away and carrying the extra speed through, picks up the 2 positions. Razor's brake boost brings him back level, and it's a nice little battle developing here for a moment. That slight extra pace, the extra revs from Tyrese, just easing it. He does on that time miss the first one, but he catches the second, and you can see him really pulling away on the map as the revs burst fully to life. He did appear to close up on Chrono, maybe Chrono having missed both this time. Ty catching a little bit of the bump on the hill as well as the extra curbs, building the revs up really nicely. We are going to stick just here for now because we do have Chrono and Vapors just up ahead, so we've got 3 good races in view. We've got Razor just behind as well, always the chance for him to get himself back in the shot. He's one of the boys pushing to get himself up into C1 Pro for next season. Feathering the throttle nicely at the crest of the hill, and you can see the closing up on Vapors. Tidy stuff, just a little bit more pace through the corner, and Vapors goes in for pit stop. Clean lines. Ty has extended away from Razor a little bit behind. Chrono's holding distance, maybe extended a little bit ahead. Lap time, Glock's 47.690, still the best lap. He's at 0.6 quicker than anybody else on track at the moment. Official 49.543 up in 9th place. Jamie 49.2. 54 from Bish. The guys will be closing in heavily behind. Big boy, sorry, Bish with a 51, so slowing it down a little bit. Drew on a 50. I don't know, we'll see how it all pans out. We'll have a little look at the map in a minute and see where we're going to pan out to, because this little bit of the race seems to be settling in to its rhythm for a little while. If there's any mistakes from Chrono, there's not going to be too much of a position swap while consistency remains as is. And Ty has now built himself up enough of a wiggle room that we're not going to likely see Razor for a little while in this shot, so we will allow Ty the breathing space. Oh, there's a pack of 3 just here. We've got Novak's No Worries, Razor LD. That sounds like a little group we could go have a look at. And then we will start to have a look at the battle for the first again. We'll start trying to work out the distances a little bit further back as we head into the final laps and stuff. Razak has got himself ahead of Novak's No Worries. So we'll just pop back just so we can see the pair of them. I think that's Novak's No Worries behind him, unless he's a bit further down the road and the leaderboards are jumbled up a little bit. So Raza must be the dot just a little bit further up the road. We've got Dirty Kiwi, Bizarre War and Drew in the mix ahead of Novak's No Worries. Novak is going to be closing up to unlap himself, I believe. But he does need to carry that pace a little bit cleaner against the wall. Losing a couple of extra revs. I think it's just a little bit of lag displaying as well. Just running a little bit wide. He didn't seem to actually lose the pace for hitting the lamppost. That will potentially be showing on other people's screens if it's showing to me. So people behind may have to be a little bit wary. I think that's Razza just up the straight further ahead on his own. You can see the base of the brake boost. Novak comes by. I think it was Kiwi first with Bizarre War just up ahead. What was that? Drew behind. It was Kiwi past, but Drew just that touch further back, I believe. This is somewhat. This could be bit of the battle for first, because Bizarre is going to be catching up heavily on the guys ahead. We can see Bizarre ahead. I don't quite know how far behind he is Cuban, but I think he's going to be up onto the same lap. Here comes Dirty Kiwi as Vax. Lagging. Surely? Yeah. Kiwi did draw level with him though just before the lag hit, and that is how the positions stand. Vax just having to feather his throttle a little bit. We'll try going onto Kiwi just to see if it's a little bit smoother with the connection, and we'll then be able to, where is Kiwi? There he is. We'll be able to see Vax maybe come back on by. We can see the real Cuban just up ahead. That is who Kiwi's chasing down for 3rd place. Bizarre War is up into 2nd place, so they're right up behind them, and there's a good few laps left. This could potentially give Jamie, Official, Big Boys, DCR Gate a chance to get themselves back into the mix. I'm not quite sure how many laps are left, but we are, I think, getting to the halfway point, maybe just over. Okay, yeah, 10 left. So yeah, I believe there's a time on this occasion for the gaps to be close enough, because Bizarre War's already overtaking C3. So if the time gaps are relatively similar for the other divisions, it could all get really tight and exciting on the last couple of laps on this occasion. The C1 boys are pushing that a little bit harder. Official getting his time down, 48.887. So I believe that's his new PB on the track this week. and he's now 0.4 better than anybody else in his division. Enjoys from C1 Pro with a 48.099, that a little bit quicker than the others, although Chrono actually with the 47.605 pushing Glocks down to just over 0.5 an advantage, although Glock's already passed Chrono. So Chrono will be using that as a chance to try and close up the gap as much as possible. A little bit of a slide from Kiwi, and a bit of a mistake was that from Cuban behind, allows Kiwi to keep position comfortably there, but Drew does pick up the position on Kiwi, so he drops down to 4th while keeping place over Cuban. Getting really tight to that green military prop there on the inside corner of the chicane. Lot of a back end kick up there off that little jumpy drop down bit. I was finding it a little bit more comfortable to just feather my throttle, so I actually kept traction with the road there and was able to brake a little bit comfortably down the hill to keep really nice tight turn while keeping momentum through there. Just hitting the bumps nice and clean. Kiwi though, not one to be heavily chasing brake boosts on the streets, I don't believe. It's just not in some people's nature to do. It is a very, I don't believe it to be a bad mechanic in the game. It's a dodgy mechanic, don't get me wrong, it doesn't exist in the real world. You tap your brake, get a wheel spin to go quicker while you're doing 120 miles an hour already. Nah, but in a game, completely acceptable. So I do understand why some people are against it, but I'm one of the guys that I play this game for stuff like brake boosting and the little extra boosts you can get that don't exist in other simulation games. Like this has that slight arcadey feel with having a lot of in-depth stuff once you're into it to keep you interested for quite a long time, really, as you learn a little bit more about it. Kiwi handling that corner really nice this time. It's had really nice flat revs as he went over the crest of the hill, maybe a little bit too fast, but able to control that slide really tidy. We are going to pop to Bizarre War, just have a little look and see how far behind Cuban he is, Metalhead he is, because that was the difference between Metal and Cuban before. A couple of seconds on the, or a second or two on the lap time, but Metalhead able to be a lot more consistent with his lap time, so that made him that little bit more difficult to catch. But I believe that, no, that's Razza, Vapors, Razor, D-Money, Danny, Tyrese, Mayuto. I am not sure where this boy is. He's quite a long way around the track. Maybe he has got his time down to a 53. Where is Cuban? 56. He was down at the 58 not too long back, so he's going to have built himself up a big lead over Cuban. So Metalhead's still going to be a good way down the road. Like I say, that extra consistency really paying dividends. Bizarre War really nice and smooth, doing his best. Again, he'll be matching the consistency, hopefully with that little bit more speed thrown in for being that division higher. See that little tiny bit more tentative on the throttle than some of the guys in the higher divisions. Just that little bit more cautious through the braking and feathering points, and then a little bit later back on the power once the car a little bit more straightened out once he's fully comfortable with positioning the car. You can see able to carry a bit more pace in the places where he's a lot more comfortable. If there is anybody you'd like me to have a little bit of an extra look out, I am going to go and have a look at my man Bishop Floppy himself, Dirty Kiwi, and I believe Razor are the guys involved more in the organisation side. Again, they are learning as they go. They have can clearly see they've worked on the timings between. It's definitely a lot more competitive between the divisions as well, to hopefully try and tighten it up. And you can see with Cuban's slightly more mistakes, he has been caught that little bit quicker than Metalhead. We'll see if Bizarre can close up on Metalhead, or whether Official can potentially do as he did last week. Not sure on the gaps, and don't want to be applying too much pressure by making people overthink about it. Like I said, I just wish it let me see the times, let me see like how far into the lap they are, their lap time, that sort of thing. Maybe a bit of a time gap, so if the person I was highlighted on, it'd be the time gap to first place. That'd be a really handy feature. Oh, I just need to get my whole community onto 5M, because I believe they have these features. I don't think we're going to be able to do that. It's quite expensive, PC. Bish, nice and clean up a motorway section, chasing the clean lines. Bit of an overcorrection through the chicane, but then very quickly corrected that back onto the correct racing line. See, I've known Bish for 2 or 3 years at this point. He knew me just before I went off on my bit of a break from GTA. Got a little bit bored of it as one of my old crews came to a little bit of an end. Wasn't any melodrama, just a lot of people getting bored, a lot of again, back in the day we had very similar issues with lag outs, but it was with like 16 player lobbies would always get you disconnected from a session in crew events. It was so annoying. That brake boost there from Bish at the top of the hill would have seen him good drive down this. It was just a bit of a slide as he came off the wall, but it did look nice and straight to my eye. Didn't appear to give any reason for the slide. Bish again with just that bit of free air around him. He is losing time to Official at rate of just under 3 seconds a lap. Very wide there, but he pulls away from the tree and poles very nicely, and he is losing a little bit of time to his Oceana Racing compatriot Dirty Kiwi. So we're gonna move back off Bish. Really nice clean lines, but just not going to come in to the action just yet. We are going to just step back. We'll go to maybe Enjoy. He's on a 48.099, and we've got Glocks behind him, so we'll see how that all closes up. We've got the real Cuban up ahead. It should be in about half a lap. I think that's Glocks somewhere just behind, so we'll let that gap close up and we might shift back to Glocks, because it won't be too easy for Glocks to fully close the gap up on Joyce. It is going to take maybe a lap or two of them being in vision of each other. As long as they both remain clean. Glocks has made it past Jamie. Jamie's had a bit of a rough run for the past couple of laps. He was ahead of Official 3, 4, 5 laps ago, not quite sure, but he's just, like I say, rough a few laps and just falling down the field behind Enjoy, Glocks and Cuban again. Joyce passes by cleanly. I think the time to maybe swap on to Glocks is when Glocks is when he makes it past the real Cuban. Sorry for stumbling over my words a little bit there. Maybe now's the time, because Glock's really not too far back. I think we'll be able to see a little bit of Enjoy, and Glock's just going to be coming by. Lovely tap of the horn, appreciating racing against a pro racer there, or side by side with a pro racer for however much time he got in there. Little appreciative tap of the horn from both. Nice to see interdivisional racers appreciating each other's company on the track. Glocks will be looking to try and stay really nice, clean, consistent laps. Has got just over a second a lap on Enjoyce, but Enjoyce with maybe 2 to 3 seconds lead at the moment. So I don't think we'll see Glocks gain too many more positions, because as Tom said, there was only 10 laps left, and that was maybe 4 laps ago at this point. So we are heading into the back end of the race. Not back end, hope it's nice. Hide that hot on street, so I can hide that bit. Keep forgetting Enjoyce is staying nice and clean ahead. Rubio Fuente has left the lobby. I don't think he was in the race anyway, so I think he was maybe just joining me on the spectator table. Glocks with a short little slide, but shredding that little bit of speed we did see earlier. And there we go, taking what I believe is Glocks' final pit stop. Unless they do still have both to go, which will have allowed Enjoyce that little bit more wiggle room. We will stick it out. We're going to watch a whole lap with Glocks once we go past the start line, then we are going to move forward. We'll spend a bit of time with the person in the lead for their division, so I think it'd be official still as we go forward. Bizarre War and then Metalhead, if that's how positions stand as we go. Looks like the gaps may
Me and Bish
be...
are in about off the 5th right now.
Oh, okay. On that note, we are going to go off
4 laps
what
remaining.
I said. I'm going to go to Bish initially so we can watch how the time gained to the division above pulls away, but it is nice and tight as we stand. It's nice being able to receive just that little bit of feedback from the drivers from time to time, just to let us know when they're passing, so I can do a little bit of like a race director switch, heat of the moment, cameraman on it, dude, my camera. Like, this is what, like, so one of the aims I have for the streams eventually is to get the racers streaming their POV, or like 50% of the racers, half in each of the categories sort of thing, or in the stunt racing lobbies, half of the racers would be streaming their own POV. And then I can use my laptop to go onto YouTube and Twitch. I can get each one set up. I can have all the different tabs on my OBS software. I can flick through the different scenes and literally commentate as I go, a bit more like a proper racing commentary thing. And I can have different screens then as well for like driver information, for like race information, for the times we're expecting different drivers to get. I can share a little bit more information about their lap times they've been getting through the week and stuff like that. I can make use of the notes I do take and build a couple of different screenshots and stuff I could potentially use as thumbnails for the beginning of the event, and make it all a little bit more professional while taking away that physical difference in the cars by being a physical spectator in the event. Have been listening to the advice I've been getting off the street racer Anna Draps. I did really appreciate it when he did mention that during last year's GTA World Mixed Championships hosted by 482 Gaming. The official has gained, I think it's like half a second over Bish. Glocks has brought the time down, but not by much. It's 46.912 now. Really nice stuff by Glocks. Novak's no worries, just maybe having not gained quite enough time or positions on what he was maybe expecting from his lap times. Just pulling out as the race is coming towards its end, accepting his fate on this occasion. It does, and lad, if you are still watching, it happens to us all, me more than most, like, so there's no judgment from myself in the stream. Hopefully we've seen everybody have a bad day from time to time. Sure has gained some time. I think this is Enjoyce just up behind Bish at the moment. opens the gap up to Drew. We'll go back just one spot. We'll watch this clean overtake. Really nice throttle control through the corners. Oh, a couple of missed brake boosts does allow Bish to pull away again, but that extra little bump boost will be picking the revs back up, picking it up towards the back end of the straight. A couple of dabs of the brake, a little bit tighter through the corner while still collecting the early curbs. Brake boosting. Nice stuff from Enjoyce. A couple of brake boosts again I had found and was trying to make use of. Couldn't always find the proper angle through the chicane. Like I say, finding the ways to get the speed but struggling to hold it is really my main issue. Enjoyce is going to have a bit between the teeth on official. There is, let's work out the time difference between the two, 0.8, just under. And there's maybe 4 or 5 seconds between the two if I've...
3.3.
Okay, a little bit overestimated in my head there.
Yeah,
clearly got a slow count, I have. I wouldn't be a good referee for wrestling. And Glocks is coming up behind Bishop. Again, I'm not sure the laps are going to be in Glocks' favour to close the gap. Let's pop quickly on to Drew. We can see officials just going through that corner ahead of Enjoyce, and then we can work out how far ahead Drew is and see if it is a catchable gap. He is just going past the dip, so he's not too far ahead. That's where official I think would have just got to as well. Little extra last little bit of curve, a tiny slide through the corners. Official comes through the hairpin as well. That will have helped shorten the gap up a little bit. And that is the last lap. Official calling it out. We will, I think, have a quick look at Bizarre War and Metalhead, see if Bizarre does have a chance to close up, and then we will. Metalhead is still a mile down the road. The gap doesn't appear to have closed hugely. Where is he? Is this Metalhead? That's Razza. That's Vapors. Where the fuck is Metalhead? I either can't see him on my map or he's still like half a lap ahead of...
He just finished.
Yeah. So he was like a third of a lap ahead instead of Bizarre, so it's still just a little bit off. He's like it's definitely improved, but not quite enough the time gaps. Like Bizarre War caught Thingy a bit easier, Cuban, and you can see he's fallen down the order just a touch more than he did before. Right, quickly pop back to Bishop and we'll maybe be able to see a little bit of this action between Glocks and that as they come around the final sections. There is Glocks just ahead. Right, it's Enjoyce, apologies. Glocks is already
I just pinched fourth on the last bit.
Oh, you just got past Drew,
God,
nice. Drew maybe will be a little bit disappointed in himself, but Official kept his head down, maybe caught brake boost 2 on them bumps at the end. Bishop does hold on to, oh pardon, 6th place. Hello, Razzalad.
Oh, you best believe I'm going to complain again.
No, it's like it seemed to be slightly better balanced, but the times were still a little bit off. I know that they said they're still working stuff out, so all I can say is like approach it in a reasonable way, and you'll be listened to a lot more.
No. The reasonable way I'll approach it is official. I hope you don't mind me saying this. It's a compliment. You are not a C2 racer. That's a start. Bazawar is not a C2 racer. Metalhead's time start ahead of everyone else
It's a bit too much. He's too consistent. Yeah, that was what I was saying. It's
way
his
too
consistency, seeing him be able to hold his lead, even though he's got a bit of time disadvantage.
Yeah, Bazza is D2, I'm C1.
Yeah, I mean, you should be in the same one as me and Ty in that, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
So should Bazza. Bazza was on the same pace. What's Bazza's best lap?
49.5.
What's my best lap? A 1:49.5. I had a shit run, don't get me wrong, but that is what I was averaging, like 49.
And that's
50.
like, it is what can happen. Or like, that was what I was saying during the event when backs quit out, is we can all have bad days and stuff. So like, there's no judgment from us from seeing someone back out.
One thing that annoys me, I know you don't agree with me on this, official, but current time of day needs to go. I could not see a fucking thing through the start of that race. I was crashing in places I've never crashed in practice. I can't see shit.
In a car like the Wagner on the streets, I was struggling as well. I had multiple crashes actually. I'm not going to downplay.
I've never had such a bad race, but the start with the dark, I'm blaming it on the dark. Then the crashing aside from that was just me being the boss.
The start was quite annoying, to be fair. I will admit it was.
I couldn't see. I genuinely couldn't see.
Take C3. We've seen Bazaar take C2. Official takes C1. Didn't quite see. I need to quickly pop back on stream just to see who finished in position. It's Glocks will have got C1 Pro. Apologies just for over talking, just to finish the stream up concisely. There we go. On to positions. So, let me quickly get my list up again. Minimise it down a bit just so I can see both. It's Enjoy from C1 Pro, and then Glocks from C1 Pro Handicap. That's the division winners, and it was Metalhead, Bizarre War, Dirty Kiwi, Official and Drew for the top 5 on the day. Glocks in 6th, Enjoy 7th, Bisher, Chrono, DCR, Kate making out the top 10. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Like I say, approach Bisher, Razor and the guys with, if you do have any complaints, in a nice, mature, reasonable way. I'm sure they are willing to listen. They know they're still adjusting the event and trying to make it more enjoyable for everybody, and they know they've not perfected it yet, and they are looking to over the coming events. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will catch you all for the next stream. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you tomorrow. I've got a lot of hot ring commentary. We've got 3 lobbies being commentated, 2 PM start, then 4 PM, 2-hour break, 6 PM, no, 8 PM, and then I'm racing at 10. So all lobbies will be covered across the day. Me racing one of them, commentating 3. We've got the likes of Viper, Official, Psycho, Exafy, Ramir. We've got Rizza, Viking Pro as people you know in the competition. Official as well is in my lobby, can't forget that, and Esco. They're the 2 in my lobby. I nearly completely ripped that off, forgetting my own lobby. But thank you all again so much, and I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.